Welcome to another episode of Art and Prayer. I am Reverend Rob McPherson, and today we will be looking at Edmonia Lewis's sculpture, Forever Free. This will be my first attempt to use sculpture during our time of contemplative prayer. I've been concerned that we can't really capture the full nature of a three-dimensional sculpture in video. However, to help a little, I do have two images of the sculpture from slightly different angles. My hope is that this will allow us to see more of the details in the artwork, with the goal always being that the things we notice bring us into conversation with God. I found an article from Smart History that helped me to understand the importance of this sculpture. Created in 1867, Forever Free is a celebration of the abolition of slavery and the basic human rights this freedom brought with it. Unlike other sculptures from the same time, which typically depict the male slave kneeling and bent before a white rescuer like Lincoln, this image shows a powerful and victorious man. Further, rather than showing a lone male slave, this image depicts a family unit, a couple who are now able to marry, who can choose their partners. These are aspects we might miss, but are important to understand as we come to God in prayer. With that bit of background, I invite us to prepare ourselves to listen for God. To begin that process, I have chosen a scripture from Exodus chapter 6, verses 2 through 7. This passage addresses the freeing of the Israelites from bondage in Egypt. As you listen, what words or phrases do you notice? God also said to Moses, I am breath. I appeared to Sarah and Abraham, to Rebekah and Isaac, and to Leah and Rachel and Jacob as El Shaddai. But by the name I am, I did not reveal myself. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, where they lived as foreigners. And now I have heard the groaning of the Israelites, whom the Egyptians enslaved, and I have not forgotten my covenant. Say to the Israelites, I am your God, and I will free you from the yoke of the Egyptians. I will free you from the bondage you are subjected to, and I will redeem you with my arm outstretched and with overwhelming acts of judgment. What words or phrases did you notice? I ask that because the idea is that we notice these things because God has a message for us in them. Look again for those words that you notice. Hold on to those words as you look at the images of the sculpture. Let's look at the man. He stands tall. His face and eyes are uplifted. Notice the broken shackles on his arm. The ball and chain are underfoot as though they are conquered enemies. What else do you notice about him? On the left is the woman who kneels in prayer. As she does, she looks toward the heavens. A chain from her foot vanishes into the base of the statue. What else do you notice about her? Where do you find yourself led to look? The woman, or the man, or perhaps both? Some other detail? As you prepare to listen for God's voice, do you sense that God's primary message today will be about your freedom or the freedom of other people? For God's message, which seems to be the most important thing to listen for as you go to prayer. The chains that need to be broken, or the freedom from the chains of the past. Open yourself to God and listen. Let us read again the scripture. Perhaps in that reading, God will move beyond the words I read, and God will come in that still small voice within you. God also said to Moses, I am breath. I appeared to Sarah and Abraham, to Rebekah and Isaac, and to Leah and Rachel and Jacob, as El Shaddai. But by the name I Am, I did not reveal myself. I also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, where they lived as foreigners. And now I have heard the groaning of the Israelites, whom the Egyptians enslaved, and I have not forgotten my covenant. Say to the Israelites, I am your God, and I will free you from the yoke of the Egyptians. I will free you from the bondage you are subjected to, and I will redeem you with my arm outstretched and with overwhelming acts of judgment. As you felt the tugging of God's presence and listened to that divine voice, look again at the sculpture. Where is God leading your heart, your mind, and your soul to awareness? What are the chains that God speaks to you of now? What is breaking those chains, or has already broken them? What was or is your role in this process of seeking freedom? What is the next step in the process? If God were speaking to you as God spoke to Moses in the scripture, what words would God use with you? How would you respond to those words from God? Be aware God is with you. I am going to invite you to finish up your prayer, but if you need more time, pause the video. Remember that you can always come back to this subject, even this contemplation on Forever Free, again. Although this sculpture was created for a specific moment in history, I do think there is a universality in it. There are still chains, and there is still hope for freedom. Edmonia herself shared some words of encouragement when she said, "Sometimes the times were dark, and the outlook was lonesome, but where there is a will, there is a way. I pitched in and dug at my work until now I am where I am. It was hard work though, but with color and sex against me, I have achieved success. That is what I tell my people whenever I meet them, that they must not be discouraged, but work ahead until the world is bound to respect them for what they have accomplished." Know, whether in your personal life or in the broader social setting, God continues to move. God does not forget us. Rather, God hears us and responds. And like Moses and Edmonia Lewis, we are called by God to participate in that response, to work toward freedom. If you have found this episode meaningful, I hope you will share it with someone else that you think would benefit from it. Until next week, be blessed.